Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Goldstein. I'm a veterinarian and I've practiced in clinical medicine. I've been a zoo director at the Boston Zoos and subsequently the Los Angeles Zoo, and then president of the San Diego Humane Society and SPCA, which spanned over 40 years of my career. But one of the things that I'm most proud of that I accomplished was writing my book, Lions and Tigers and Hamsters, or What Large and Small Animals Taught Me About Life, Love, and Humanity. I'd love to share a part of the book with you, and if you're excited by it and find it interesting, feel free to join us on Facebook at Lions and Tigers and Hamsters to see updated stories about the human-animal bond. But let's get into the book for a little bit. This is middle way through the first chapter. Come in, Bagel. The call came over the radio in my Jeep sometime around mid-morning. My radio name was Bagel, which I'm sure had a lot to do with the fact that I was from New York and Jewish. I answered the radio call. It was the elephant keeper, Mike. Bagel, I need you to go out to Elephant Island in Section 5, pick up a feed pail, and bring it back up to the kitchen. I replied, 10-4, radio code 4, I understood, and drove my Jeep over to Elephant Island. Along the way, I passed my coworker, Fred, who was taking care of a pride of lions. The magnificent patriarch of the pride was massive, a regal 550-pound male lion. Somehow, Fred had developed a relationship with Massive such that he could feed the great cat while standing on the other side of his Jeep. I waved to Fred and moved on. Soon, I parked my Jeep, headed to the gate and unlocked it, then walked across the bridge over to Elephant Island. In walking onto the island, I was entering Danya's realm. As the herd's matriarch, anything that happened on the island was done strictly with her blessing. I had learned the protocol for entering the space was to approach Danya and let her smell my feet. In this way, she could tell people apart and know who was in her home. After the olfactory handshake, the next step would be to take her ear and let her walk with me to the hut that contained the food pail I had come to retrieve. This was a routine I had become familiar with. However, on this morning, being young and impatient, I elected to pat Danya on the trunk and bypass the foot-smelling formalities by just verbally mentioning what I was there to do as I flippantly walked away from her. Only I didn't walk, I flew. With a single swipe of her massive trunk, Danya launched me into the air like a rag doll. I had been deemed a hostile intruder, or perhaps just someone with no manners, but whatever her reasoning, I quickly found myself flat on my back, Danya's weight slowly crushing me to death. With no time to think, I instinctively went back to my training. I knew the only way to get her attention was to poke her in the eye, so after desperately feeling around her face, I found an eye socket and jabbed as if my life depended on it, which it did. For an instant, the grande dame lifted her head, and I quickly seized the moment to roll off the island into a surrounding canal. Once I was no longer on the island or in her domain, Danya no longer saw me as a threat. In her mind, the problem was solved, and she retreated. I'm always very mindful that it's a miracle I'm here to tell this story. I harbor no resentment toward Danya. In fact, to this day, I'm simply in awe of her strength and dedication to our matriarchal role in protecting her herd. In doing so, she taught me two lessons I would remember the rest of my life: never take an animal for granted, and following the rules can have tremendous value. As I've recently revisited the incident and its retelling, I've come to realize that although it almost ended my life, it was a moment that confirmed that my decision to be a veterinarian was in fact my life's calling. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, it's called Lions and Tigers and Hamsters. It's a true life story, and it talks about the human-animal bond. And again, join us at Lions and Tigers and Hamsters on Facebook if you'd like to see more stories about the human-animal bond. And I hope you have a wonderful day.